Hello and welcome here to Portimao after the flag. Just 2 races left in the World Championship before today, just 1 to go now. I'm Steve Day, joined by Simon Crafar as ever. Pecco Bagnaia is victorious again from pole position in a race that was cut short just before the end of the race. The red flags came out, unfortunately, for an incident involving Miguel Oliveira and Iker Lecuona. And before we go any further, I just want to say that both riders are okay, which is the most important thing. But ultimately, Simon, we will start with Pecco Bagnaia because all weekend he's had a smile on his face. Of course, the pressure is off this weekend. The championship decided he had to try and tie up the runners-up spot, which he has now done. But from FP1 to FP2 to FP3, everything he's done has just been simply sublime. He controlled the race beautifully from the start. A fantastic job from Pecco Bagnaia.
You've just summed it all up. And in Parc Ferme, he even said, when I got to interview him, everyone that saw that it's probably the best GP weekend he's ever put together, you know, because of just what you're saying. And super impressive. Like you guys mentioned, his times were like, well, Lorenzo-esque, weren't they? Yeah. Just absolute machine. And I've got to say what everyone, I think, knows. He's one of the 4 guys who are a serious championship threat next year because of their consistent brilliance, you know, consistent excellence, and he's one of them.
I know who the other 3 are already.
I mean, it's obvious.
Quartararo, Mir and Marquez, I presume you're...
That's it.
I mean, they are a class above the rest at times, but today just no one really had an answer. Joan Mir, who got a front row start, how important was it for Suzuki to get that front row start? There was definitely a sign of improvement there. You spoke to Shinichi Sahara after the race. He backed that up as well. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. And a result like this is going to give Joan a bit of a confidence boost going into the winter as well. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a disappointing year, really, for Suzuki. A disappointing title defence, you know, not what they would have wanted, you know. It's certainly not what Joan wanted. And it's too little too late. But as Shinichi Sahara said to me just before Parc Ferme, offline, that, no, actually online with you guys, he believes it's a first step on their comeback to fighting, you know, meaning they're working hard to be able to come into next year and fight like they did last year, or even better. The thing is, that it all came down to qualifying. I just want to throw in there, guys, that qualifying today, to me, the race was a perfect example, perfect proof of how important qualifying is. I mean, because Joan wasn't mired back, having to fight back through, which he could no longer do this year because of not having a bit of a disadvantage acceleration-wise everywhere. And the thing is, he got the qualifying right, which straight away made him in front, not have to take any risks. And we saw Fabio doing what Joan Mir has done so many times this year, and that has been mired back in the pack, can't come through, fight, risk, get frustrated, risk that front tyre, and make a mistake, you know, and it's so important. And one more thing about qualifying, Alex Marquez. He qualified well, got a demon start, and look what he managed to do. Yeah. So qualifying is incredibly important. And one more thing, Marc Marquez, when he qualified well this year, he did something special, like won as well. It's super important.
Before we hear from Pecco Bagnaia, the race winner here today, just to go back on Joan Mir, one thing that looked noticeable, certainly from where we were sitting in the commentary box, was that Joan Mir coming out of the final corner. Now, he seemed to not actually lose so much speed to the Ducatis. Now, is that just because of his turn 15, the way the bike handles through there, or have they really made a step forward, do you think, with this new evolution of the whole shot device?
I think they have. They made a step forward. But to me, the real loss of time came, and it kind of proves when you look at the sector thing, it's from halfway or 1/3 down the straight, once they're upright and in a straight line, to the end of the straight. That's where he's losing. It's just straight out speed.
Well, let's hear from the race winner. It was misery in Misano when he was in well placed, let's not forget, just a couple of weeks ago for Pecco Bagnaia. But he's done the business today, simply outstanding. Jack Appleyard quizzed him a little bit earlier on, the race winner, Pecco Bagnaia.
Pecco, many congratulations. A supreme performance here in Portimao after fighting with Mark to the death in Aragon and then having the pressure of Fabio in Misano. How nice was it for it to be a little bit more straightforward today?
It was still difficult because Joan was the first part of the race very close. So my objective was to be perfect every single laps, and was incredible the pace. I was expecting a pace like this, but was very, very strong, and I'm very happy about that. We worked a lot during this season, and all this work is a great base for next year, like I said in Misano. So it's incredible. The feeling that I have in this moment with my bike is incredible, and also the improvements we did are incredible. So it's the best moment in MotoGP.
I would say a perfect performance, but you didn't get the start that you would have wanted to, I don't think. It wasn't the perfect launch.
Yeah, today was perfect. Just if I was doing a good start, but I didn't today. I don't know why, but in the first start, I lose a bit of acceleration, and then Jack was already in front. I just tried to brake so hard in the first braking, and then to cross his line to overtake him very soon, and I did it, so I'm very happy about that. But the all shot was nice also to do.
I'm sure you don't want to dwell on what happened in Misano, but with Fabio crashing today, if you would have seen the checkered flag there, it would have been only 9 points going to the season finale. Obviously, it's ifs and buts and maybes, but it could have been so different this year.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that if I was winning in Misano, today he was finishing the race. So he's correct that he won the championship. He was deserving more than me the championship, so he scored like this.
And a small consolation, of course, a strong day for Ducati and the Constructors' Championship now wrapped up as well. How much does that mean to see Davide, Gigi and everybody?
It's great for us.
So pleased.
It's so great for us, and also we are leading the team's championship, so it's good. I'm second in the championship mathematically, so it's a good weekend for us.
Next we head to Valencia, not particularly known as a Ducati circuit, but you've proved this year on many occasions that doesn't really mean too much anymore.
Valencia is a track where I always struggled. So I would like to be competitive. Jack is very strong in Valencia, so I will see his data to understand what he's doing in Valencia. And nothing. I would like to try to be competitive like this weekend, because this weekend and also in April in this track before I was so slow, because last year was maybe last, I don't remember. But this year I did this step that helps me a lot to be more competitive. So maybe in Valencia I will be more in front than last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks there to Jack Appleyard and to Pecco Bagnaia. Before we move swiftly on to the interview from Joan Mir, I do have a question actually just off the back of what Pecco was saying and off the back of what you mentioned earlier on, the four sort of standout guys heading into next year. And there are others that we could throw in the mix. We're not ruling anyone else out. But how cool is it that those four guys are on four different bikes? And not only has Pecco, of course, grown in stature as a rider, but Ducati really have rolled out a serious weapon this year as well, because this bike, as it was mentioned yesterday by Pecco and Jack, is working everywhere.
Yeah, and their big weakness of the past was turning.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And they turned up to Qatar and had a step forward. And they've got different chassis they've been working on and things, but also Qatar was the first time Jack said that he could release the brake and fire it on its side with more speed and trust that the front was going to turn, you know. And it was also when they turned up with that aero on the fairing, and I think that's at least part of the step. But hats off to Ducati. I would say this year they have the bike. They've got the bike to be on. So, yeah, impressive.
Fantastic. And congratulations to Ducati on their Constructors' title. They might just wrap up the team championship. It looks like the factory Ducati team when we head to Valencia next week as well. Let's move on then to Joan Mir. Let's hear the words from the former world champion. He's back on the podium today. A great weekend for the number 36. This is what Joan had to say to Jack earlier.
Thank you, Lee.
Joan, many congratulations. Second place here in Portimao. It's amazing how much easier your life is when you start on the front row.
Unbelievable. Yes, I'm really happy about all the weekend because second position is nice, but how we were able to do it this weekend is different than the others, no? We didn't came from the back. We started in a good position. Then I found as always Jack on track. So and it's difficult. It's nice. It was nice. The battle was nice, and I enjoyed the race honestly. It's a shame what happened with the red flag, because. Always, I prefer to finish with a checkered flag, you know. Happy that everyone is fine, so let's move to Valencia. It's important weekend for me also.
What was the difference between you and Pecco today?
Well, first, I was making more mistakes because I was more on the limit than him looks like. He was able to be really smooth and ride in a super effective way. And he was not making any mistake. So I was a little bit more like this than him, no? So happy about how I managed. Pecco did an unbelievable job. I can't ask for more in this race. He was just better.
You've said earlier this week that post Misano you went away, reset, relaxed. How has that helped your mindset this weekend, and how crucial has that been to the performance today?
It was the key to disconnect a little bit. Mentally, I was collapsed after Misano, so it was really important for me to this result, because it means that when everything is fine, we are always there fighting for the top position. No, happy for the team also. This result is for them because they work always really hard. So let's see what we can do in Valencia.
As you said, head to Valencia next, a place that I think the two best moments of your career have happened. Your first MotoGP win, your MotoGP World Championship. Can you add a third moment next weekend?
I will try like this one to go for the victory. It's not easy because the Ducatis now are strong. Pecco now especially is really strong. And for sure, something more, some people more. So let's see what we can do.
Well done today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much to Jack. Thanks to Joan Mir. Such a wonderful young man. He speaks so well. I'm always staggered when people doubt Joan Mir and his talents. He's the world champion from last year, let's not forget. Just recapping on what he said there. Really interesting, because not often MotoGP riders get a chance to disconnect. Your thoughts on that?
Or admit mid-season that he had almost collapse, you know, like meaning mentally it was too much, you know, or whatever. That's, impressive. I know it's been a really hard season and he's really hard on himself. So I do understand. You know, I just wanted to point out that I mentioned it was a little bit too late, too little too late for Suzuki. I think I'd rather move on and just say the four guys in Parc Fermé today, you know, we've seen two of them interviewed now. What awesome young men they are. You know, I kind of feel like dad of the paddock now. I'm so proud of our riders, like Joan Mir, we just saw before that, Pecco again. Awesome young man. Now we're going to see Jack. Everybody loves Jack in the paddock. And then finally, the Alex Marquez, who was an independent rider in Parc Fermé as well. Again, lovely guy. Like his team even say, unreal. I listen to his debriefs every night. We haven't heard him much this year, but believe me, very nice young man. Almost too nice to be a rider, you know.
We'll hear from Jack in just a second, but before that, let's just talk about that battle for third, because the red flag came out with a few laps to go, and it wouldn't have affected the result in the top two, that's for sure. Pecco was always winning today. Joan was always finishing second. Third, maybe could have been a battle all the way to the line. A tremendous battle between Jack Miller and Alex Marquez.
We'll never know, but I agree that that should have been a battle all the way. Like Jack admitted that he struggled right at the end. Basically, he conserved his tyre, made the move, you know, when it was right. And then at the end, he said he felt like he cooked the tyre a little bit, pushing hard. And I think there was at least a chance for Alex to get on the podium. And, well, both these guys, you know, we were watching on screen there, fantastic job. Hats off to them. What a day for Alex Marquez, because he's had a very tough year.
Yeah, it's a boost for both riders. So let's now catch up with Jack Miller. His first podium since Catalonia, which feels like quite a long time ago. This is what he said to Jack earlier. Jack and Jack up next.
Jack, many congratulations. Things haven't gone your way over the past couple of races, so how great is it to finally see the weekend come to an end and be able to celebrate with the team?
No, fantastic. You know, it's nice for us both to be back there, and I'm sure the mood in the box is going to be great. As I said to you probably in Misano, and I've said it to you again here this weekend in the lead up, you know, we just need to convert our Saturday speed into our Sunday speed, and we were able to do that today. It wasn't particularly as fast as I would have liked to have been. Okay, the pace was, I mean, he was setting a rocket ship of pace out front. I was doing 39.6s and he was still able to edge away. So definitely wasn't slow, but you know, I was trying to manage the tyre the best I could. I felt like I was trying to play the long game a little bit with that medium, and sort of buttoned off there, and then come around 8 laps, I thought, all right, now time to start pushing. And I got past Marquez, and then I sort of pushed about a lap. Felt like I got some air in between myself and him. And then as soon as I entered turn 7, it's like the tyre had overheated. I lost the rear off gas. So that's a bit strange. He caught right back up. I could hear his engine. So I pushed again, and the next lap had happened at turn 5. I felt again like I got a bit of a gap buffer. And then I went to 5, and she came around right round on me off gas. So I was like, oh, all right, I know what this is. Down on the EB, I was already went down to B after the first moment. Went to C on the second one. I thought, all right, scrapping now. That was, and then I was just hanging out there till 2 laps to go, and then the red flag came out. It's a bit of a shame when they end like that, you know. You sort of build yourself up for this grand finale, let's say, in your mind, that it's going to explode and whatnot, but and you're going to have a hectic last lap, but it doesn't come, you know, you see that red flag, so you know what sort of happened. But anyway, we'll take it. I'm very happy to be back here on the podium, and you know, really happy for the team to win this Constructors' Championship. It's fantastic, and hopefully next week in Valencia we can tie up that team's title as well for them.
Well, Alex said he was preparing for an attack, preparing for a fight in those final couple of laps. Were you preparing for a defense? It's
always like that. They always say that, don't they? No, but I knew it was coming, to be honest. It was good. Like I said, I was prepared. I was warming up, ready to go, and then she didn't happen, you know, like fizzled out. So it's always a bit of a shame. Like I said, it's just a weird feeling when you go into Parc Fermé on a podium after a red flag because you haven't seen the checker flag. You're like, you know how to feel about it. But anyway, as I said, we'll take it, move forwards, and keep trying to get stronger and stronger week in, week out.
As you said, you've mentioned Valencia there, a place you've gone well at before. How important are these final 2 rounds? Podium here and then back it up there can really carry you through.
With the win in Valencia, you know, it'll be a fantastic way to end the season. But we'll give it a crack. You know, I like Valencia a lot. It's important, but it's not everything. Most important thing is going to be to have a good off-season of training and getting ready for the new season, because next year's going to be a big year.
And just finally as well, back in Qatar at the start of the year, you raised a few eyebrows in the predictions when you said that Pedro Acosta was going to be Moto3 World Champion.
Correct,
but Mystic Jack, you've got it absolutely spot on.
And who did I say for Moto2? I'm pretty sure I may have said Remy.
I think so.
I feel like I got Remy, and I might have a safe bet. I feel like I may have said myself, and that was a little bit ambitious, but I just might have been a year wrong.
Well, did you put any money on it at all?
No money. You know, it's the same like someone saying they're going to attack you on the last lap. You know, it's all well and good talking about it, but until there's money on the line, it don't matter.
We'll get the lottery numbers off you next week.
No worries.
Cheers.
Fantastic stuff there, thanks to Jack Miller. I mean, it's impossible not to love Jack Miller. It's great to see him back in Parc Fermé, despite the fact the red flags came out. Good to see the smile back on his face. He needed that.
Yeah, and I got to say, I love what he was saying between the lines there, that he's going to come out swinging next year, really big year. And like I've just been saying about those 4 guys, I hope someone like Jack and 1 or 2 others prove me wrong and jump in there as well.
Fantastic. Just on Alex Marquez, regardless as to whether or not he missed out on 3rd, what a tremendous boost for him as a rider after a very difficult year, but also for Honda as well. There's some clear signs here over the last couple of races.
Well, the reason a big part of the reason that Alex's year has been so hard. I would say depressing hard. You know, when you're coming into your second year and you really want to prove something, you know, and it falls flat like that. Sorry, third year, is it? I've had a blank. Yeah.
Sorry, this is his second year of racing.
Second year. Sorry, I was thinking about the Repsol Honda thing. That was only 1 year. And, you know, for it to fall flat like it has this year is soul destroying, you know. You put so much into it. And a big part of the falling flat has been Honda's problem, not Alex's, you know. Because I think if the Honda was properly competitive, a good bike to ride, he would have been showing this sort of thing more often. It looks like with their new chassis and their work that they're going, you know, forward. He's managed to qualify well, start well, and shown today what he can really do.
Well, behind Alex Marquez, we had the Pramac boys. Johan Zarco finished in 5th place, another top 5 independent champion for the year, so congratulations to the Frenchman. Pol Espargaro did well in the end to claw back into 6th. Jorge Martin did a marvellous job to finish in 7th, given what he's gone through here as well. I do want to talk to you about a rider who was in that battle, though, and that's Fabio Quartararo, the world champion. Of course, his first race since becoming world champion. Everything we saw on Friday was looking A-OK, and Saturday morning to a degree, but you mentioned qualifying at the start of this, and Fabio's the clear example of that. He really struggled here today. A
big part of Fabio winning the championship this year, and all of his good results, is he's a fantastic qualifier. Yeah. He puts that soft rubber in and just squeezes something extra, you know. Truly awesome. On a clear track, you know. And today was such a good example of if you don't qualify well, you struggle, you know. And we haven't spoken to him, we're about to hear, and I thought for a while maybe he overheated that front tyre and then came back. He either did that, or it was just like the Joan Mir situation too many times this year, that you're in the battle, you're pushing, the Dukes just keep going past you down the straight, you keep having to take risks, like I said, like Joan Mir all year, push hard on entry, and then that happens, you know. And it's so, I think part of it is getting frustrated as well, because you do all the work, you get past the guys and they blow by you again, and you've got to start all over again. And you know what, I've got to say, these guys on screen, the good thing for Fabio today is it will stick a rocket up Yamaha's backside, because it is a perfect, they've already won the championship. Doesn't matter about today for Fabio. The good thing about today is Yamaha saw clearly if they don't sort their speed out a bit more, they could have more races like this today.
Well, let's maybe catch up now with the Frenchman and see what he made of it. Unfortunately, it's his first DNF of the year. Luckily, championship is already wrapped up. But these are Fabio's thoughts after that crash into turn 5.
Fabio, I'm sure not the way you were hoping to start your reign as MotoGP World Champion. Just explain to us what exactly happened.
Exactly, I don't know, but you know, for the crash, I know exactly what happened. I was too late and I crashed, but mainly it was a nightmare of a race when I was behind the Ducatis, and it was just impossible for us to overtake. The strong point that we recovered a lot, but just in acceleration and speed, we are way too far. I think what helped me a lot this year was to start 14 times in the front rows. But as soon as you are in a bad situation like that, it's way too difficult. I remember Pecco last time he started 11, could really recover in a proper way, but for us is impossible. So we need to find speed. Speed, power, whatever they can find, we really need that.
It's been such a strange weekend. You've been strong nearly everywhere we've been this year, but things just haven't clicked this weekend. Do you know why exactly? What's been the feeling?
To be honest, the speed that I had in Friday was really fast. Saturday we gone the wrong way, but this morning I was pretty fast. With the soft medium, I was fast, and on the race, I think my pace was much better than what I showed. But you know, when you are blocked behind and you are just on the limit to try to overtake, is something really frustrating, and I couldn't do better.
Next, of course, we head to Valencia for the final round. How important is it to you to finish what's been an incredible year with a good result?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, it's no pressure at all, but we will make our best. I mean, for us, I think next weekend I will focus a little bit more on the qualifying than the race pace, and then yeah, I think that we need to find a solution for next year. But yeah, it will be nice to finish on a proper way on Valencia.
Thanks, Fabio.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks to Jack, thanks to Fabio. Well, you might as well have been doing that interview yourself, Simon, because he said exactly what you told us before.
Yeah, it's pretty close to. I think, I mean, you can see in Fabio's eyes, he's super disappointed.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, standing back watching, today was a good thing for Fabio because, like I said, Yamaha have had a wake up because it's too easy to walk away and if he did well and go, oh, we've got the bike, you know. Today proved they have a weakness and they need to do something about it for Fabio for next year. So don't worry about Fabio. Today was a good thing for you.
We're going to finish on Pedro Acosta in a moment, but just before we go, I do have one quick question for you. KTM. Now, regardless of the crash, that's a freak accident. They're in a bit of trouble, aren't they, Simon? It just seems like this weekend sort of highlights the slump that they've been in, and they're not coming out of it. They seem to be chasing their tails a little.
I think, to be fair, in this championship, I know you know it, it is so close that it's only a small thing. So when you say a slump, please don't imagine that they're way behind. Oh, no. I know you didn't mean it that, but it's so close. You know, I mean, look at Alex Marquez. You know, he has been in a slump, and they've made a little improvement on the bike. He managed to put a good day and get qualifying, and he had an amazing race. And that's all KTM need to do. I listened to a lot of the debriefs from the riders, and they've got the same bit of lack of turning, a big lack of grip on exit. Those two things hurt you bad, but I also heard a fair bit of locking. So that's an interesting thing that, I mean, front brake, front tyre locking, it will take away KTM's real only advantage. They're very good in the braking area. So to this weekend, they've had a turning problem, an exit problem, and then not been able to use their advantage on the brakes. It's, you know, so it only takes a little fix and they'll be away again.
Well, the good news for them, of course, they've got Remy Gardner and Raul Fernandez joining them next year as well. That's a major positive. That championship in Moto2 roars all the way to the final round in Valencia next weekend. We're going to finish on the Moto3. We don't normally do this, but I think it's only right to do so. What a race Moto3 was this morning, Simon. Such a shame in so many ways for Dennis Foggia's championship chance to kind of end the way it did. But let's just talk about the positives and Pedro Acosta, an outstanding rider this year. And what a race.
We've got to start by saying what a beautiful race. I absolutely loved it. We've seen some crazier races with more excitement, but that one, I mean, the crazy ones have got more risk and they scare me. This one was a beautiful race to watch. Pedro's been stunning all year. You know, a little bit of a wobble in Misano, and I tended to think what a spoiled little brat on the podium, and I stood back and thought about it, and I went, nah, look, his age, he wants it so bad. Going back, real sad it didn't come down to the line. I feel extremely sorry for Foggia, Dennis Foggia. At the same time, I also feel sorry for Darren Binder for causing it. I bet he's feeling terrible for doing it because he was putting in a real good race up until then. Real shame it didn't come down to the battle in the last lap that we all wanted.
Yeah, many congratulations to Pedro Acosta, the first rookie to win the lightweight class since Loris Capirossi in 1990, believe it or not, 31 long years ago. The good news for Dennis Foggia fans is that he does get a chance to try again in 2022. That's all we've got time for here for After the Flag. Simon, thanks as ever for all of your views, your observations over the weekend. It's been brilliant. And we'll see you for the final round of the World Championship at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia next weekend.
To go. The penultimate race of 2021 is underway. Not a great start from Pecco Bagnaia. Miller immediately capitalises and goes through. Coming across is one of the Ducatis. I think that's Martin as well. Miller leads into turn one.
Yeah, not the launch that Bagnaia wanted, but it looks like he's immediately fought back, pounced on Miller on the inside, going through turn two.
And here comes Joan Mir having a look immediately up the inside. That was lovely. Through on Jack Miller. Wow, goodness me.
A day to forget for Aleix Espargaro.
Marquez has got some slipstream here on the Ducati and pulls out alongside. Not a lot wrong with the acceleration of that Honda. Alex Marquez is into podium positions. Oh, is it again wide? Yes, it is. It's a mistake from Alex Marquez. Through goes Jack Miller there side by side. Oh, Quartararo's down. Miguel Oliveira has crashed out of 10th place. Red flag, and that will be it. Bagnaia will be crowned race winner here ahead of Joan Mir, with Jack Miller taking 3rd place.